and do the same thing on the other eye. I actually find eye makeup so therapeutic because the brush just like makes you feel so comfortable and so nice and sleepy. It can make for a really nice sleep inducing technique. Hi guys, and welcome back. And for today's video we're going to be doing this natural dewy makeup look. This is my signature look. This is what I do every time I step out of the house, and a lot of people have requested that I show them how I do it, and so here is the video. So the most important part about makeup is your skin prep. Now your makeup is going to sit well on your skin only if your skin is well prepped, and by prepped I mean that it is clean and that it's well hydrated and moisturized for you to apply any foundation or any kind of products on. So I'm going to show you how I skin prep. Number one is I use a micellar water. You can also choose to wash your face and then sit for your makeup. Either way works, but I feel like a micellar water just helps a little bit more. It is more effective in removing any residual makeup, especially around the eye areas. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a cotton pad and just clean up my face with my micellar water. And you want to especially get all the eye areas, under eye area clean. So I will do this step even if I have face washed, just in case. Now the second step is going to be to moisturize your skin. Now this is going to depend on what type of skin you have. My skin is combination skin, and so I'm going to use two moisturizers for this. I have an oily T-zone, so on those areas I'll use a moisturizer that is for oily skin, and on the parts of my face which are drier I'm going to use a moisturizer which is for dry skin. So the moisturizer I'm using is a gel based one by the Face Shop called a chia seed moisturizer, and I'm going to remove this onto a little palette like this. I'm going to go over my entire face with it, and I've not taken too much, I've taken a little bit, but a little bit goes a long way. So I've gone under my eye as well. I will be following it up with another cream. I don't specifically use an eye cream, like an under eye cream, because I feel like any cream that is moisturizing and hydrating will work. I'm just trying to make sure that I get product everywhere. Using a brush really does ensure that the application is even. Now for my second moisturizer, I'm using the Embryolist cream, and this is going to go onto my cheek area, which is drier. I'm not going to let any of that go onto my T-zone because we don't want any extra shine to build up there. This is a very good moisturizer. It also works very well as a primer. I don't specifically use a primer for makeup. I like to have my makeup sit into my moisturizer, if that makes sense to you. It kind of sits better. It looks more like a second skin and not like a layer on top of your face. I'm just going a little bit here above my eyebrow because I get a little dryness there, and a little bit around my mouth. A lot of people get a lot of fine lines, and this will help with, you know, your makeup not actually sitting in those fine lines. Now that we've moisturized the skin, I'm going to go ahead and take some liquid highlighter, and I'm using the Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector. You can use any liquid highlighter for this. I'm going to just put a very small amount onto like the high points of my face before I apply any actual foundation. This is going to give like a very lit from within kind of a glow to my look. So if you can see, this is literally like just a dot of, you know, product that I've taken. I'm going to use my hands because it's just much quicker this way. Now always make sure that you're not putting any kind of shine on you know, areas that get oily, and if you do have oily skin, skip the highlighter because it's going to add extra shine to your face. So be careful where you're placing any shiny products, especially stuff like liquid highlighter. Now we're going to go ahead with foundation, and I'm using the MAC Mineralized foundation. Again, you don't want to take a lot of product. You want to go with little at first and then build it up as you need. So I'm going to use a buffing brush to apply foundation. So while it's being applied, it's also getting buffed into the skin and kind of mixing well with the moisturizer. So when you're buffing your product in, you just want to go round into the areas. I always like to start with the cheeks because that's where you need most product. Make sure you're getting into the hairline because you don't want that difference in color to show. So guys, I totally forgot about lip balm, and so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly put that. That's a part of skin prep that is just as important, because if your lips are not hydrated, your lipstick's not going to sit well, and that's also when it gets like really dry and cakey very fast. This is some random lip balm that I have by something called Lipstick Queen. You can literally use any lip balm that works for you. And so now that we're done with foundation, we're going to go ahead with correction. So I'm using the Bobbi Brown Deep Peach corrector, and I'm going to start with my under eyes and then show you how I conceal the little scars that I have on my face. And I like to tap and apply it. This is a buildable product, so you can just keep going at it till you think that it's enough. And obviously you will not have even darkness under your eye. Some places there will be more, some places there will be less. So all you have to do is put more product where there's more darkness and less product where there's less darkness. I'm going to also take it up here so that it'll eliminate some of the darkness that's there in the inner corner of the eye. This also helps with like the little glowy effect that you get on your face. I'm also going to put a little bit of corrector above my eyelids, on my eyelids, because that it's a dark circle, right? So there's darkness up and down, so you're going to put it down as well as on top. I don't put too much because it is going to have eyeshadow over it, but a little bit helps brighten up that area. Now while we're on the correcting step, we'll also correct all the little scars here, here and here. And I'm going to switch out my brush to a slightly smaller one so the correction is more precise. So all I'm going to do is just put dots everywhere that there is a scar. Now I'm just doing the more obvious ones. The other ones can just be as is. They don't bother me, so I don't really bother with them. So now I'm going to go ahead with concealing. I've corrected only the parts that were more obvious. There are a lot of other small marks and scars which don't bother me because you can't quite see them. So I'm using the MAC Studio Fix concealer in the shade NC35, and I'm going to use this fluffy brush to kind of go over my under eye area and then just use my hand to tap out on the other corrected areas. When concealing, you want to kind of go from the outside towards the inside so that you're not getting too much product all over the place. So I'm bringing the concealer down a little bit so there's no obvious difference between my under eye area and my cheek, so that's why I'm bringing it down here. And this is just a like residual concealer on my brush, not really like new product that I've taken, so it's not too much in your face, it's just a nice smooth transition. I'm also going to use some concealer as more of a matte highlight on my nose, because I'm not going to put any shiny products on my nose because like I said before, I have an oily T-zone, so I'm not going to put any shiny products, but I do want to bring it out a little, so I'm going to use concealer just right down in the middle of my nose. I'm just going to add a little bit concealer also on my upper lip. So now that we're done with our basic foundation, concealing and correcting, we're going to go ahead with the contouring and the blush. So I'm using the NARS liquid blush in the shade Dolce Vita, and this is a super strong foundation, so I'm going to use like again 1 or 2 dots of it. So I'm going to kind of make a little bit of a thing on my face with my finger and then just quickly blend it all out. Okay, so that's how I like to put my liquid blush. The moment you put the liquid blush onto your face, you want to blend it out because you don't want any streakiness on the face, and this is applicable for all and every liquid blush that you can apply. And now I'm going to go ahead with contouring. I'm again going to use the same brush that I use for the blush, and I'm going to use a tiny one and then use a bigger one to kind of spread it how I like, because the first application is going to get really caught onto your skin because you're applying a powder onto like foundation and all of that, which is all wet products. So I'm going to apply very little and then use a bigger brush to kind of blend it out. So I'm using the NYX highlight and contour palette, and I'm using the lightest shade, and I'm going to tap off any extra product so that there's not a huge blob on my face. And I'm going to go really lightly and just do this, and I want all the movements to be upwards so that there's no like drag in my look. And I'm going to take a more fluffy brush and then kind of go ahead with this. And I'm not going to take more product, there already is a little product on here, so I'm just going to add that here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did on the other side. So now that I've done my contouring for my cheeks, I'm going to go ahead and contour my jawline a little bit. Not too much because you don't want it to look obvious when you are looking left, right and all over the place. Again, I'm going to take a little bit and just go right underneath your jawline. So that's the contouring I like to do. I do my cheeks and I do my jawline. I don't like to do my nose and I don't like to do my forehead. So now I'm gonna use a powder blush on my face. That's gonna also help set some of the blush and the product underneath. Just the same way as when I used the powder contour, what happened is that it was also kind of setting the makeup in place. And a lot of people like to set their makeup completely and then go ahead with more like, you know, powder products. I don't like to do that because you're doing two things, you know, whereas you can just be doing one. The setting powder is going to set your face, and so is the blush and the contouring powder. So I just like to go with one. For this blush, I'm going to use just a fluffy blush and kind of just go really lightly over the areas. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a translucent powder and kind of just go all over all the other areas like my nose and my forehead and my chin and my upper lip area, which I have not set yet. So I'm using the Estee Lauder translucent powder, which is a pressed powder. So the pressed powder just makes it easier. You don't have to pour out powder, you don't have to like make a mess out of it. You can just quickly use it like how you would use a compact. And I use this big fluffy brush, mostly because it feels good, but also it does kind of help apply a little bit of a softer product than you would with like a very concentrated dense brush. And this is what happens once you like put in a powder. A lot of the extra shine is going to go away, and I will go ahead and now do a little bit eye makeup and lips, and then in the end show you how I set my under eye. So I'm going to start with my brows because I like to do my brows first and then do my eye makeup. Sometimes what will happen is that you do your eye makeup and then do your brows and it all looks like too much. And the easiest way to avoid that is to do your brows first and then your eyes. I'm just using this brush to kind of comb out my eyebrows. Now obviously my eyebrows are not super bushy or anything, but if you have really nice thick ones, you want to like kind of really brush them out well. I'm using the Benefit Ka-Brow, I don't know how to pronounce this, in the shade number 4. It's kind of like a gel based product, but this one's not so jelly as I thought it would be. I'm going to start with like the center of my brows, and I'm just filling in little wherever is necessary. I'm not trying to enhance my brows too much for this look because we're going for a natural look. By the time you reach the end, there's a lot less product, and then you can go in and fill in the front part. So now that I'm done with my brows, I'm gonna take some bronzer and kind of go over my eyelid. And the reason is that it's gonna make it look very natural because it's more skin toned than an eyeshadow. And that's the actual trick to like really natural makeup, is to just be able to put very little makeup and just keep blending things out really well. So I'm gonna use the Max Factor palette, which is in, I don't know what shade, Golden Nudes, and I guess I'm just gonna mix a couple of them, like just go literally like this, tap off excess and just go for it. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of an eyeliner. I'm using the MAC Teddy pencil for this. I prefer using this over like a black because, well, going for a natural look and the black will stand out quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead with like a really nice dark mocha brown kind of a color. So now I'm going to go ahead and curl my eyelashes. So I'm going to be using the Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara by L'Oreal. I mean, this is like one of those mascaras that is loved by many people, and for good reason. It's a great mascara. And I'm also going to go ahead and revisit my under eye. I think that it's looking fine, so what I'm going to do is I will just kind of lightly powder it. Again, I want to keep the powdering very light. I'm using the Ben Nye translucent powder. So I'm taking super little on like a tiny brush like this and just literally going and setting this bit. So it just removes the shine and sets the makeup in place and really doesn't do much more. I also try not to let it get too high up, like close to my lash line, because a lot of the times that's where the wrinkling is and that's where the cakiness appears when you put powder products over your correcting and concealing. So I just try to keep it like right in this area. And again, I press it in, I don't move things around. So there you go, we've removed all the extra shine off the face and we have also set the under eye. So now we're done with like the whole look and we have only lips remaining. And so I'm going to be using this product called, well, it's called Air Blush and it's by a company called Sunny's Face, and I actually picked this up in the Philippines, so I really don't know where else you get it, but it's just basically a nice natural lip color that I'm gonna put onto like my lips. And I'm gonna pat it on just like we did with the rest of the products. This just adds like a super slight hint of color. So there you go guys, this is my natural dewy makeup look. It's a look I absolutely love, and this is what I do 90% of the times I step out, unless I am doing like a really quick 5-minute look. This is the look I will go for, and I absolutely love it, and I know a lot of you guys love it. I've had a lot of people on Instagram telling me that, can you show us how you do your natural dewy makeup look, and so here it is. And if you have any questions about this look, you can leave those questions in the comments and I will answer them. And for more content related to like daily makeup and any other beauty tips, you can go follow me on Instagram, where I share a lot more information as well. And I will see you in the next video.